So you're thinking about moving to St. George, and maybe you're on Zillow and you're looking at homes and you see this home.
It's magical. It speaks to you.
Yes, it is perfect.
Yes, the seas parted. Yeah. You're just like, this is my home.
So the question is it possible to buy this home? Because you don't live here, right? Is it possible to buy this home sight unseen? Are there ways to do it? And is it a good idea? That's what we're going to talk about in this video.
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Azad.
And I'm Courtney Azad, and we're with Keller Williams Realty right here in St. George, Utah. And if you are interested in learning about everything there is to know about what it's like to live in St. George, and not only St. George, but all of southern Utah, don't forget to press on the subscribe button, and don't forget to press on the bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video, because we upload new videos every week, and they're all about what it's like to live here, especially from the perspective of people that were not from here, right? So we're going to notice the things that you're probably going to notice. And speaking of noticing, we've noticed that a lot of you are watching these videos, but you're not pressing subscribe. So don't forget to press subscribe.
And if you're watching this channel, you're probably thinking, wow, Sean, I love St. George. I love the red rocks. I love the majesty of like the red mountain. And I can't wait. I love Zion. I can't wait to be out there. The problem is I don't know anything about the St. George area. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us, because we can explain for you like what are the best places for you to live, because obviously it's very different depending on your situation. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. So obviously buying a home sight unseen, that was a lot more popular when the market was like on fire in a way that Sean had never seen it before in his entire career since he was a wee child of 18 years old. Yes, so the market, at least the time of this reporting, it's how would you describe it?
Cooled off.
Yes, it's cooled off. It's not like it's, a terrible market.
Yeah, it's just actually, in fact, I actually love the fact that this market is a bit more balanced than it was, because again, a few months ago, it was so tilted, like it was such a seller's market in ways that I had never seen, where it was just insane, where properties would be going really, like within a day or two, they would be like multiple offers, way over bids and all that stuff. So like, fortunately, the market has definitely cooled off from that kind of heat, where properties are staying on the market for a bit longer. You can actually, not get, as a general whole, not get into massive bidding wars and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so obviously buying something sight unseen, more popular back then, but that doesn't mean that there aren't occasions when,
it's called for.
It's called for. For example, one of Sean's clients actually, so it's not like they bought it sight unseen, it was kind of like a hybrid. So what exactly happened?
Yeah, so basically, so when we kind of have these situations come up, so sometimes there is that property that just really is a great property. And the right property, it's kind of like the collective consciousness, right? Like, if you love it, chances are someone else might love it too. So that's kind of one of those things where you don't want to miss out on that situation. So there is that pressure to kind of go, well, do we just bid on the property by just looking at pictures, because it looks great in pictures and I think I'm ready for this. And I would definitely say that, okay, pictures, well, it tells 1,000 words. Like it's still not, it doesn't do justice to what the property is, both good and bad. Sometimes sometimes they make the property look way bigger, way nicer than it really is. Other times you're actually shocked by how poor the pictures were to depict that set property. Mm-hmm. So so one way we actually kind of go about this is we do like a video tour. So basically, obviously nothing's going to take the place of being there physically yourself. Let's just put that out there, right? It's always recommended that you're actually able to view the property personally. But sometimes, depending on what the situation, maybe someone's on a work trip to Europe for like a month, and again, realistically, that property is going to be gone within that time frame. Or there's something like that. There's some things that happen where they aren't quite ready to make that, aren't able to come out here to see the property. So we do a video tour. We walk through the property, and we take a really good, painstaking time to actually look at everything and tell you both the good and the bad. Honestly, because you're not there to view it yourself. I want to make sure that I'm at least explain to you at least the things that come to my eye. Again, I'm not you, but that's as much as I can do. And a lot of times I'll actually be on a video call with you. It could be like a FaceTime call or whatever that might be, where you're asking me questions real time while I'm like showing you the property, and then I can either answer the question or at least I can like make it a point to like get those answers for you. But like while I'm touring the property, you might go, oh wait, how big is that that pantry, or how big is that room? And I can like maybe take out a tape measure and measure it for you right on the spot, so that way you kind of get a sense for it. So as much as possible, I try to walk it. Not just there. Also, as much as possible, I'd like to like walk the neighborhood a little bit, because you want to get an idea of like, let's say, the flow of the neighborhood. Just seeing a house in a vacuum is one thing. Seeing that house amongst other houses next to it kind of tells you a little bit more about the situation. How do you like again, the flow of the neighborhood? What does it make sense for you? So that's, let's say, step one of this hybrid model. And then maybe that kind of gives you the confidence at least to submit an offer. And many times offers aren't necessarily accepted right off the bat, and we could do what's called a subject to interior inspection, where it gives that opportunity to come out to the property. Sometimes sellers are a little bit wary of it, to be honest with you, but during your inspection period, you certainly have that opportunity to come out to the property, view the property, get a sense of, okay, does this property really feel right for you now that you're actually here? Because again, as much as I try to give you everything I can virtually, again, nothing's going to take the place of you actually being here.
And would you say that you try to definitely point out like as many negatives as you can? Because
Yes.
you want to, like what Sean wants to do, he wants to give you every reason to say no, right? The last thing he wants is to have you say, oh, this house is great, and then you come and then you're like, why didn't you tell me about that, right?
Yeah, like I don't want to like necessarily like pull up throw a rug over some cracks on the concrete. So basically, it's as much as possible. Like, so for instance, there's two realms, right? One, when I'm actually viewing the property with you in person, I back off. This is your home. I want to make, or potentially at least, I want to make you kind of get the feel of it. I don't need to point out to you, oh, this is the living room, this is the dining room, this is the kitchen. You know that. You're walking through the property. I don't need to tell you these things. So I kind of like, I'm always keeping my back of my mind, okay, what are your plus, what are your must-haves and must-have-nots? Like, sometimes, like I can't be on a busy street. Totally understand that. So that's what I mean, obviously, and if that, and I have to have a huge yard. Okay, that's also good to know too. But I'll keep that in mind, and also obviously taking the property myself, just gonna see how it's checking off the boxes from what you're telling me. But at the same time, that's, but I'm kind of backing off a bit and letting you take in the home. But when we're doing it virtually, that role has shifted where I have to be your eyes on the ground here. I have to like see anything I see. I'm gonna do my best to notice them and then convey them to you, letting you know, oh yeah, this wall has a bunch of scuffs on it, or oh yeah, like this fascia has got some like dry rot, it looks like on it. Whatever comes to my eye, I'm going to try to like narrate that to you. So that's as much as possible. I want to make sure that I give you make you feel like I did not paint the property in a different light than it actually was, as much as possible.
So obviously you would recommend that if it's possible that you do see the house, right?
It's again, as much as possible, if you can see the house, beforehand, great. During, fantastic. Those are great. And actually, even like ideally speaking, is like you coming out here before you even have necessarily the right home in mind. Maybe you're a month or two out, 6 months out, whatever that might be. You come out here, we kind of start to like distill what neighborhoods are actually like really resonating with you for whatever reason. I mean, obviously people want to be in more of a retirement community. Maybe they want to have nightly rentals. Maybe there's certain schools they really zero down on. Maybe some like job, where their job's going to be, they want to be relatively close to that. So for a variety of reasons, if we actually at least know the neighborhoods that you're really like, it's making sense for you, and you've actually had a chance to walk those neighborhoods a little bit, that that alone is huge. And I mean, actually, that's something that we probably didn't have a chance to really do when we were even buying, right? So like we kind of didn't have a chance to know all the various neighborhoods, and in retrospect, that would have been really beneficial, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so but having said that, obviously what we learned the hard way, we would like to make that easier for you, as much as possible, where if we can have a little bit of a baseline as far as what makes sense for you, and then just finding that house within those particular neighborhoods, even better. But sometimes none of that's, that's not, maybe not be possible. Again, that's where obviously I'll do everything I can as much as possible to kind of give you a sense of what's going on. Like obviously we can kind of give you an idea of what that neighborhood has to offer, like whether that's the schools around, the shopping around, the parks, whatever that is, will kind of give you a sense of like the lay of the land there. And then within that, obviously that what that property is kind of going, like what's happening with that property itself.
And then let's say, somebody, they for whatever reason, they cannot come out here, but there's a house that they really want. So what would the process be? I mean, is it possible to buy a house sight unseen?
For sure. I mean, obviously you're leaning a bit more like on me, and that's totally fine. Obviously, again, I always recommend you being out here if you can. But having said that, if it's just not possible, great. Well, as much as possible, I will give you a feel of what's going on with the neighborhood, what's going on with the property, with virtual tours and all of those stuff. And then, and again, not just the house, but also the neighborhood, and maybe where the nearest park is, or whatever that might be. And also, obviously, we can kind of also have a lot of virtual chats, like Zoom chats, just to kind of like we can kind of like pull up the map together and have a discussion of where this property is located, how it compares to like where it's at in proximity to the other like landmarks in the area, whatever that might be that's really important for you. And yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible to buy a property sight unseen.
Okay, so let's say in this totally virtual scenario,
yes,
that you have put an offer on the property and it has been accepted. So does that mean the house is yours? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
so what is the process after that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously through the process, so it's not like you're just depending on my eye to tell you how the property is. What's good about this situation is that a couple major things are going to happen. One, we're going to get the seller disclosures. They're going to tell us what's going on with the property as they know it. Like, so as they've owned the property, what's happened to the property? Have they done any improvements to the property? Have there been any leaks? Have there been any fires? Has there been any anything like that where it's giving us a sense of what they understand? And on top of that, we're obviously hiring, you're hiring a home inspector to check out the property. They're going to run obviously all the systems, the HVAC system. They're going to run all the appliances. They're going to check out all the all the plumbing as much as possible. They're going to give you a good sense. They check out the roof. They're going to tell you how the property from their professional eye looks. And obviously, if there's something even that comes up, they're going, okay, there's this is not cooling correctly. We recommend an HVAC technician to come out to further reevaluate what's going on there. So we're trying to, as much as possible, make you feel as comfortable with that property as possible.
And then, so, what are your outs? Like, let's say for whatever reason, you just decide, okay, like after the inspection, whenever there's something that's just terribly wrong, like foundation problems or something. Like,
Sure.
Are you able to get out of the property, or how does that work?
Well, it's a good question, and obviously there's not an outright answer to it because it depends on what's agreed upon in the terms of the contract. In a standard contract, though, I will say that we when I'm writing an offer for a client, I'm writing an offer with our due diligence period, which gives you a chance to do your inspections, to see what the seller disclosures are, to see if it's in an HOA, find out what the HOA paperwork looks like. So make sure that the property from the basis of it working for you makes sense. So that's one. So that's one out that you have a contingency that we would negotiate into that to protect your deposit. Second is that you have, the second and third really are your appraisal and financing contingencies. And a lot of times these kind of go hand in hand. And basically that's making sure that the property, is worth from from a professional that the lender hires, the appraiser, in their eyes, making sure the property is worth what you're in escrow for. Because let's say you want to buy a property and you say, it's worth you're in escrow for $1 million, but then the appraiser sees it as worth $800,000. Well, that's going to be what that's going to be what the lender sees. And if we have, in which we tend to have an appraisal contingency in there, that gives you the ability to back out of the deal while keep preserving your deposit. And as long as we do these things within a reasonable time frame, it's all built into the contract as far as the dates that that are in mind. So we kind of do all this stuff, make sure the property is that the property's worth, in at least the bank size, what you're paying for it. And then obviously make sure the property is in the condition that you're satisfied with.
So that's it. That's our video.
And remember, we are licensed realtors in the state of Utah. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a house, what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.